And good morning. Welcome to Today at the Races, presented by Fidelity First. We're live here at the historic Laurel Park paddock. I'm Stanton Salter, and look who's back in town here. Gabby Gaudette back here for the big day. Great to see you.
Great to see you as well, Stan. We started early today, of course, with the Fantasy Owners Conference. We started early. Had a nice turnout actually on the apron to watch some horses train. A nice turnout this morning at the Fantasy Owners Conference, which is still continuing to happen right now as we speak.
Yeah, great idea. I think this is going to. I think you're going to see a lot of racetracks copy this throughout the country. We had almost 300 people signed up for it. Just about that many showed up, and they're going to enjoy a nice lunch, get access to the paddock, the winner's circle, listen to some experts speak. So we're going to have it all covered here for you on Today at the Races. Let's tell you about the stakes action we have today. We have an all-stakes late pick 5 starting in race 7. This is going to be a lot of money in this late pick 5 pool. The Caesar's Wish, Private Terms, Conniver, Not for Love, and the Harrison Johnson. This is going to be some major action later on this afternoon.
It's a fantastic card. Just looking at some of the 3-year-olds too, really interested in those particular races, and the Harrison E. Johnson Memorial turned out to be a good race as well. So all stakes late pick 5, definitely take advantage of that.
All right, it's Maryland Jockey Club Celebration Day here at Laurel Park. We're giving away a free long-sleeve T-shirt. Celebrate the resurgence of Maryland's thoroughbred industry and the ongoing dramatic transformation of Laurel Park. All the new prospective owners are out here. All the current owners that keep this game going, they're out here as well. And all the fans are going to come out. We have some great live racing. The first race at 110 for 11-race program. Take home a long-sleeve Maryland Jockey Club T-shirt. This is always one of the most popular promotions in horse racing.
And this place has really been revived. You just go into the grandstand and look at all the renovations that have been made. I know we say this all the time, but there's always changes being made. I was here for Barbara Fritchie weekend, and in that time frame, new things have happened. So always changing. It's really an amazing thing to see.
All right, that new dining room up there. It is a new dining room. I saw the work earlier this week, and it's looking sensational. The sun's coming out. The birds are chirping. Let's hear what trainer Tim Keefe, longtime Laurel Park base trainer, one of the top trainers in Maryland, of course, the trainer of 8-2 Fast to Catch, a 3-time winner in the Maryland Million Classic. Tim Keefe, he's the president of the Maryland Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. It's a joint venture between the MTHA, the Maryland Horse Breeders, and the Maryland Jockey Club that bring you this special day today. Let's hear what trainer Tim Keefe had to say here at Laurel Park a couple mornings ago.
Well, Saturday's a big day for us. We've partnered with the Maryland Jockey Club and the Maryland Horse Breeders and our group, the Maryland Horsemen's Association, for a great day to show our owners out there today how much we appreciate them. They're the biggest part of our business. Without them, we wouldn't have a business. So it's a small token of our appreciation that we're showing to them, for all the hard effort, time, and expense that they put into this business.
And it's going to be a fun day. 5 stake races. We're giving away a free long-sleeve T-shirt. It's going to be a good experience for them. Talk about one of your earlier experiences coming out to the track and having a fun day.
I guess probably my earliest experience was when I was about 10 years old. Mom and Dad used to come to the track on the big days, and I remember Dad coming home, picking us up from the babysitter, telling us that they both had hit the triple that day. So that's probably my earliest experience here at the racetrack. Probably one of the neatest experiences I had was when we won the Maryland Million with 8-2 Fast to Catch for the first time. I remember Arnold Heft, how excited he was in his 90s, had horses for I don't know how many years, and that's as excited as I've ever seen an individual. So that was probably the neatest experience that I remember.
All right, there's trainer Tim Keefe, president of the Maryland Thoroughbred Horsemen's Association. He started out as a steeplechase jockey, worked for a bunch of top trainers here in Maryland, and great to see him having some nice things to say.
And that was a fun memory, too. I was actually here. I believe I might have been in the winner's circle for 8-2 Fast to Catch's first win in the Maryland Million Classic. And Arnie Heff, he's definitely missed. He was such a fantastic owner and did such great things for the Maryland racing industry.
All right, we have lots to show you in this morning's Today at the Races. Let's get right to it here. Lots going on today for all you handicappers. We have a couple special things in store for you today. The Cure the Winner Blues is going on today. You have weekly prizes plus that $25,000 grand prize every Saturday through the end of March. So make sure you go to guest services and sign up for the Cure the Winner Blues handicapping tournament. Also, for all you Pick 4 players, we have you covered today. We have a Pick 4 bonus, a 10% Pick 4 bonus on all the Pick 4s today here at Laurel Park Park. Starting races 2, 4, and 8. You get a 10% bonus if you hit the pick 4. So make sure you pay attention to that. If you like tournaments, well, we have a big tournament here next Saturday. It's the Champions Handicapping Tournament. Over $33,000 in prizes. You get a berth to one of the big dances. This is a well-attended handicapping tournament. It's going to be in the new sports bar on the second floor. That's going to be next Saturday. Also next Saturday, the Dubai World Cup will have all the simulcast action for you in that Dubai World Cup. And, of course, we'll all be rooting on the Pegasus World Cup winner, Arrogant. You saw him down there at Gulfstream.
Oh, I sure did. Everybody did, and he definitely makes his presence known. Dubai World Cup Day is going to be huge. We also have we have a strong United States entry in, obviously, the sprint, the Golden Shaheen. So it's going to be a really, really big day. Of course, gates open at 10:15 as we look ahead. Florida Derby is in our sights, too.
Yeah, Florida Derby. That's the expressbet.com. Florida Derby, always one of the major Triple Crown preps on the calendar of Triple Crown preps. You'll be down there. We'll be watching you Saturday, April 1st. Who's your Triple Crown horse right now?
Oh, gosh, that's tough.
It's tough.
You really can't knock Gunnevera and all that he's done. He was hindered by a slow pace and, in his local prep for the Holy Bull, and he just continues to be one of the more consistent horses. I think McCracken, and I haven't quite given up on Classic Empire.
All right, and of course, the big Saturday of the year, the most popular Triple Crown race. We all know which one it is. It's the third Saturday in May, the second jewel of the Triple Crown, the 142nd Preakness Stakes. There's the concert lineup for the Budweiser Enfield Fest. You a Sam Hunt fan?
I am. I do. I can't recall off of the top of my head one of his songs, but I used to love Good Charlotte, so I'm actually kind of excited about them. They're from Waldorf, Maryland.
Yeah, local guys, Good Charlotte. One of them's married to Cameron Diaz, the other to Nicole Richie, so they must be all right guys. You get Low Cash and High Valley on the DeKuyper stage. Sam Hunt, a platinum-selling country artist. Get your tickets now. Go to Preakness.com for all your information and tickets for the 142nd Preakness Stakes. Have we made you hungry yet to have some fun here at Laurel Park? Don't forget about Sunday brunch tomorrow, 12 to 4, $22 for the adults, 11 for the kids, under 12, under 6, eat free. Unlimited mimosas and Bloody Marys for all you fans of that for an additional $12. Sunday brunch. We hope to see you out here for live racing tomorrow. A couple small carryovers here today. The Rolling Super High 5 actually will start in race 4 today, a little shy of 800 in that Super High 5 carryover. That'll start in race 4. Every race with 7 or more betting entries. The Rainbow Pick 6, 5 of those races will be stake races. The Pick 6 will start in race 6 today. No carryover in that late Pick 4 and that late Pick 5, but it's an all-stakes late Pick 5 with that industry-low 12% takeout in the Pick 5. The sun is out. It's going to be up in the upper 50s today. We'll have a fast main track with a first race post time at 1:10. There you see the conditions. It's going to be a great day.
It's going to be a great day, and that grass is getting greener. Hopefully we get to that sometime soon. But it is a beautiful afternoon here. It's not too chilly. It's perfect horse racing weather here, and we are fast. So let's get to today's 11 race program. We've got a lot of stakes to get to in the latter half of the card.
All right, well, let's do it. Race 1 kicks off the early Pick 5. It's a mandatory payout on that early Pick 5 with the low 12% takeout. I have a ticket, a $48 play here for the early Pick 5. Both the early and late Pick 5s, your best bet here at Laurel Park. Let's take a look here at my early Pick 5 ticket, a $48 play. You can see all Gabby and my tickets. Acacia Courtney, she's going to be on with us this afternoon as well. You can see all her tickets on the laurelpark.com website. But I'll go 4 deep here in this early Pick 5 using the 1, 3, 4, 6. I'm going to single on the 5, the heavy favorite from the Kieran McGee barn in race 2. 4 deep in the 3rd, and just a couple runners in the 4th, 3 deep there in the 5th. So an affordable $48 play for the early Pick 5. Let's get right to it. The old-fashioned wide-open nickel, 4 and up, going a mile and a 16th here in race 1. Rider change on the 1, Whiskey Sour, make the rider Trevor McCarthy, who had a big day yesterday. McCarthy had a couple, maybe 3 wins. I know trainer Kieran McGee, he had 3 wins yesterday.
He had a I can never say it. A Trevor triple.
Trevor triple. And
I don't even know why I try to say it.
So McCarthy, he'll be riding for trainer Kieran McGee on the 1 Whiskey Sour here in the opener. I'm going to go with the 4, though. Strike and Spare. I think this horse is getting a major class relief coming down from those open 15 nickel starter allowance races. A big drop today for the 6-year-old who's a 6-time winner here at Laurel Park. You get a top rider, Fergal Lynch, riding for a good barn here, and Merriman.
He absolutely can, and I think this is probably the best distance for him, too, going these longer distances because he doesn't really have a lot of speed immediately coming out of the gate. And something to take note of, I know you probably have mentioned this quite frequently, but Laurel, especially this time of year, does really help kind of wide, deep closers, so kind of staying in the middle of the track. So something to take note of. I did land on the 3 Colony Strike here for Phil Schoenthal. Just generally speaking, with his horses stretching out from sprints to routes on the dirt with his low-level claimers. He doesn't do it frequently, but he's about 50% doing it, so and a positive ROI. I like that this horse gets stretched back out to a distance of ground where he's a 4-time winner.
All right, I like that one. I have that runner in my top 3 jockey, Victor Carrasco. He's been picking up steam here as of late. Phil Schoenthal with a favored in the Not for Love later on today, Sunny Inspired, so the Schoenthal barn could be having a big day. Let's turn the page here. Race 2 kicks off the first of 3 pick 4s, and you get a 10% bonus if you hit the pick 4s here this afternoon at Laurel Park. Race 2 kicks off the early pick 4. Acacia Courtney, who's going to be on with us this afternoon, she has a ticket. You get a 10% bonus on all the pick 4s today here at Laurel Park. Let's take a look here at Acacia's ticket, see how she's going to play it. She'll go 3 deep here in the second race using the 1, 4, and the 5, using the 3 and the 8 there in race 3, going 3 deep in the fourth, 4 deep there in race 5. So a very reasonable, affordable $36 ticket for Acacia's early pick 4. Let's take a look here. Race 2, Philly and Maris 4 and up, wide open, claiming 7,500, going a flat mile, scratch to 2. Stormy Salute, my top pick here. I'm not going to try to beat Kieran McGee and Trevor McCarthy. The hot connections, they have the heavy 3-5 favorite here. The 5, Seein' and Believin', who's getting a big drop today.
And Seein' and Believin', you know what, Sam, I was handicapping this race on the flight here a couple days ago. Get here yesterday. Kieran has a stupendous day with a couple of winners. So it is hard to beat him. I'm still trying to do so. But Seein' and Believin', she's taking a big class relief, and she has speed. She kind of has the outside. She was part of a duel and ceded the lead late last time out. But sometimes, you know, with these immediate drops, oftentimes Kieran, he does do a great job with it, but sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes they are beaten at a short price. So I thought that the 1 Banana Anna could be maybe an alternative here. First off the claim for Corey Jensen. This is a horse who does have speed and a good rail post position. Hopefully can maybe get aggressive from the rail and find a good part of the track early.
Oh, you get Katie Davis, a good rider there on the Corey Jensen train, number 1. So 1-5 for Gabby, 5-1 for me there in the second race. Let's turn the page here. We're going 2 turns here in race 3, a mile and a 16th for straight 3-year-olds, claiming 11,000. And I like the 8-1 I'm getting on the 1. Brilliant choice here for trainer Kate Dibben. Laura Lee Glazier is aboard, and Glazier's been aboard for both of this 3-year-old's wins. I think she's going to get a nice ground-saving trip from the inside today. She's won at this level before, 3 back, stepped up to the open 15, 2 back, and then just didn't have had a rough trip actually last out at this level. I think you get good value on a horse that's going to get a good trip here with the 1 Brilliant choice.
It's going to be interesting what exactly he does from the rail because he's known to have a little bit of speed, but the thing about him is sometimes he just can't sustain that speed to go a distance of ground, and now he's stretching out from the 1-turn mile distances to 2 turns. Sometimes we see that actually benefit a horse. They can relax and slow things down on the front end and kind of harness that speed a little bit better, but the distance was my main concern for this horse, so I did go towards the outside with the 8, My Cotton Jones, who I thought, like we mentioned at the top of the show, is kind of one of those outside closers that would fit the bill here. But I do think that the pace scenario might have been changed a bit with the scratches of 2 horses in here with the 6 and the 7. So we could see, ultimately, I kind of thought it was a suspect pace with the 1 Brilliant choice and the 3 CB Bodemeister, who kind of had that same running style. So I went with the closer towards the outside.
And you get the hot riding Carlos Carrasco. He won his 5th career race yesterday, so he's now a 7-pound apprentice to make the weight on the 8. My Cotton Jones, 1:11. I had that runner in my top 4. I'm using that horse, the 8, My Cotton Jones, on my early pick 5. You kind of have to use everything this kid's riding. You get the 7 pounds off. He's riding well, and he's riding for good outfits.
And he has a history, you know, before he actually started riding in the afternoon, he galloped for top barns, I think one of them being Steve Asmussen, so he definitely knows how to ride, and from what I've seen, he's been riding very smart races, of course, a younger brother to Victor Carrasco.
So he's getting some tips for sure there
Yeah.
from his older brother, Victor Carrasco, one of the top riders here in Maryland. Let's turn the page here. Race 4, we'll start the rolling super high 5, almost 800 in that carryover. Also, it's another pick 4. You get a 10% bonus on all the pick 4s this afternoon here at Laurel Park. And it's a nice maiden special weight for filly and mares 3 and up, going a flat mile. The 4 and the 7 are going to be your heavy favorites here. I'll go with the Kelly Rubley train, number 7, Indian Paint, a well-bred 4-year-old daughter of Uncle Mo. Came off the layoff, first start in the new barn early February here at Laurel Park, and came from off the pace with a 5-wide rally. Got up for a good second, just got beat 3 parts of a length. Now second off the layoff for the new barn. Fergal Lynch stays aboard. I think this filly will get a nice trip from the outside as well.
Yeah, when you're looking at these 2 horses, you were alluding to the 4, My Golden Rose. She's definitely kept good competition. We saw 2 starts back, Lockdown. That's a Mott Juddmonte trained and owned horse who actually came back to win a small stake at Aqueduct. And Tickled Pink, the horse that beat her last time out, she looks like a pretty decent filly too. So Indian Paint, I think from a class advantage, she might be up against it, but I loved how she kind of grinded out a run throughout the stretch. She didn't have to run that well. It looked like she was really, really trying hard. So now getting more distance from 7/8 last time out, I think that will only help her.
All right, so we like the same 4 horses there. Cold Exacta for us both there, 7-4, and we both like the 6 and the 8 as well here in race 4. We're kind of moving quickly through these early races because we want to get to that all-stakes pick 5 starting in race 7. So let's turn the page here. A couple more races to go. Then we have a nice package for you, nice story on Bodhisattva, one of your favorites later on in the Harrison E. Johnson. Race 5 claiming 16,000. Filly and mares never won 2 lifetime going a mile. I'll go with the 2 value added. The Trombetta Barn's been on a roll recently, and you get 5 pounds off with the apprentice Showmore Torres aboard today.
And that will definitely help. Maybe we could see this horse kind of shake clear early with that weight allowance added in with Yomar Torres. But we do have Participate just towards her outside, who she's pretty quick early. So I wonder if these 2 might kind of duke it out on the front end. Other than that, we could even see the favorite, the 6, Yes, Miss Ida. She showed a little bit of speed last time out, getting to the main track off of a series of turf races. So Irish inspired, I really think it sets up for a horse like this, although she hasn't found the winner's circle in quite some time. I'm hoping she gets a nice stalking trip from the rail, and hopefully from the rail can find, once again, the better part of the track. But I do think from a pace scenario standpoint, it does set up for her.
And this filly won first time out last year, I believe, on St. Patty's Day. So your St. Patty's Day was yesterday. You have your lucky green scarf on, so hunch
and
play
I had
there.
Corned beef yesterday.
Nice, good.
Right?
Good,
so
good,
that's good luck.
good stuff. So Irish-inspired hunch play of the day there in race 5. Let's turn the page. Gabby has a pick 6 ticket for you starting in race 6. Nice starter allowance in the 6, and then 5 stake races starting in race 7. Let's take a look here at Gabby's pick 6 ticket.
All right. Well, we did have some really important scratches throughout today, so I thought that we wanted to have some coverage in the first leg and maybe get a little bit of value in the first leg of the sequence. So spreading with 5 horses in the first leg as we get to the 7th, the Conniver Stakes, just using Balmore Hunt and Next Best Thing. Moving along using 5 horses in the Not for Love Stakes. I thought that was pretty wide open, as Sunny Inspired definitely looks to be the horse to beat, but there are some up-and-comers and some others with sneaky back class. So in the 9th race of Private Terms, using O Dionysus, but also using No More Talk, the number 3, keen off of Jenda's Agenda for Larry Jones, and then using 3 horses in the finale, the Harrison E. Johnson Memorial.
All right, so you're 5 deep here in race 6. This is a wide open starter allowance, optional claiming 16,000, going 3/4. I'll go with the 8 on the outside. Could be a big day for trainer Kate Dibben. She trains the 8 Mac the Knife Angel Serpa aboard. Second time off of brief freshing. This horse has been running well at this distance. Just got beat a nose back in late December at this level in a decent fourth, and then the last race coming off of brief freshening was okay. Had a wide trip that day. I think the 8 Mac the Knife could be right there today at 9-2.
And Mac the Knife, he definitely is always there, but the issue is he doesn't frequently find the winner's circle.
Right.
He's 2 for 24 on form, 2 for 17 on a fast main track, and 0 for 7 at this distance. So that's where I thought that we could have some confidence with several others in here. And Segovia, I can't be fully confident with this horse because he doesn't seem to have a lot of speed, and with less distance today, he might find himself farther back. But Jose Corrales, he usually gets these horses in the right spots. He's been facing similar company in the past few starts, now cutting back though. Trevor McCarthy named to ride, and this horse has really run well for Trevor whenever he's been aboard. So I'm hoping that this is a horse that can kind of buck the trend of seconitis recently, and maybe the cutback will help him.
All right, needs a little bit of a pace set up in front. McCarthy is going to be coming from behind for sure on the 4, Segovia. Speaking of trainer Jose Corrales, we have a neat story on Bodhisattva. Corrales trains Bodhisattva, one of your favorites, later on in the Harrison Johnson race 11. Let's take a look. Jose, let's talk about Bodhisattva's running style. He's really turned into a nice come-from-behind runner. What went into getting him to run like that?
Well, I just think, the horse is he was intimidated before, and he really don't. If he is in front, he runs good. If he come from behind, he run good if he is last. But if he's in between, he just stop. He get scared, and I don't know. Maybe he get claustrophobia. But now it looks like, he's the way I like him right now. He's just sit back and run from the back, and as long as nobody bother him, he will come running, and he really have a very, very strong finish. And this come from something I have looked back when I was back in Panama, when I was riding in the 80s. But, the horses come from behind long ways. It's like even a 16 of a mile, and they still be running in the end and catching the horses in the end.
All right, so there's trainer Jose Corrales. He could have a big day. He trains Bodhisattva, the Silky Sullivan of the East Coast. He'll be coming from far back for sure. We'll talk more about that. Race 11 for the Harrison Johnson. But race 7 kicks off all the stakes action. It's an all-stakes late pick 5 here starting in race 7. No carryover today, but as always, that industry low 12% takeout. Let's take a look here at my late pick 5 ticket with these 5 stake races coming up. A $56 play. I'll go 4 deep here in the conniver using the 3, 4, 5, 7. It all keys on my best bet of the day, number 5, Sunny Inspired in the Not for Love. I can't predict these 3-year-olds, so I'm hitting the all button, Gabby.
Nobody can.
In the private terms. Dionysus going to be your deserved favorite. If he runs his race, he wins for fun, but I'm still going to hit the all button in the private terms. Just going 2 deep in the Caesar's Wish and 2 deep there in the Harrison Johnson. So a $56 play. Let's take a look here at the conniver. Maryland-bred filly and mares 4 and up, going 7 furlongs. We have a video spotlight here on the 4. Next Best Thing from leading trainer Claudio Gonzalez stable. Katie Davis is aboard, and Davis was aboard for the win last out against a tough first level allowance optional, claiming $25,000. Next Best Thing was dropping into this race from those 2 other than allowance races. This is a classy 7-year-old mare. She's made over $300,000, a 3-time winner here at Laurel Park. I love the cutback from a mile to 7 furlongs today. She'll be forwardly placed here with Katie Davis again aboard.
And you can see her kind of going all over the racetrack last time out. She really responded to the left-hand encouragement. She kind of got out to probably the 5 path there. She's swooshing her tail. She just won off of her heart and talent alone here. But she doesn't, the one thing about it, though, today, in the forecast a couple days ago, we expected a little bit of rain precipitation. That was my one concern with her. But we're fast. It's a beautiful afternoon. She's tactical. She can sit close to the pace. She's proven herself at this distance. And I think where the money will go to is Balmore Hun, who, she's been facing stakes company, allowance company in her past couple of starts, and she has the speed. But I think she's better going 2 turns where she can harness that speed and relax. Once we get to 1-turn distances, it almost looks like she's on the engine the entire time.
She's again cutting back, like next best thing, cutting back today for Mark Schumann. I like the superfecta here, 4, 5, 7, 3. Gabby and I both in agreement.
Cold.
We both like the 7. If I was a boy, this is a well-bred 4-year-old filly, a jump start. She might be getting good just at the right time for trainer Bill Comlow. Had a game win last out early March here at Laurel Park. Let's see what trainer Bill Comlow had to say a couple mornings ago.
Where she was a couple years ago, she's now seen back to that performance. Stuck her head in there and looked like she wanted to go on, so which gives us encouragement to think that we could pick up the 7/8 of a mile on Saturday. So we're encouraged. Took us a little while to get her back, but she seems to be right on track right now.
Okay, one more question. All right, there's trainer Bill Comlow. I was going to ask him about his Washington Nationals
Just
hat.
one more question.
As well. He's a baseball fan and one of the top trainers around. They've been around here for a long time, stabled at Laurel Park, and they've always been high on this filly. It's been a while since she won a race, but McCarthy's been aboard for the last 2 wins. He's back aboard today. You get the leading rider at 5-1 on a filly who's starting to come into her own.
And I think the key with her is you look at some of her 7 furlong performances, and actually her good second place finish was when they took her back from off of the pace and let her run into the pace that was kind of falling apart in front of her. Whereas the race prior to that, when she went 7 furlongs back in December of 2015, she was on the engine and she was forwardly placed. So I think the key for her is to maybe sit mid-pack or even behind that to kind of position and make that one move into the pace. And Trevor McCarthy has obviously figured her out, rode her perfectly last time out.
And should get a nice stalking trip breaking from the 7-hole, going 7 furlongs. So a nice field of Maryland-bred sprinters there in the conniver to kick off the all-stakes late pick 5 there starting in race 7. 4 more stakes to show you. Let's turn the page here. Race 8 kicks off this late pick 4. 10% bonus on all the pick 4s this afternoon here at Laurel Park. All the pick 4 players in the country should be jumping in on this here today at Laurel Park. So 10% bonus. We're going 3/4 here. Top Maryland-bred sprinters, the Not For Love 4 and up here. My best bet of the day is the 5 Sunny Inspired. We have a video spotlight, though. We're going to show you on the 3 Stolen Love. Claudio Gonzalez, your leading trainer, and Stolen Love, a 9-time winner here at Laurel Park. 7-year-olds made close to $350,000. This was a game win against Upper Level Allowance Company back in late February.
And Claudio Gonzalez has 2 horses on today's card that are just gradually starting to get into form. Stolen Love is getting back into form as he's got a lot of back class, and a Fleet Willie later today. He's gradually improving in form, and that's what we saw from this horse. He's got the speed to sit close or be on the front end. And once again, this is another horse who would have been hindered by maybe a wet surface. But now that we get fast conditions, I would definitely pop him up closer to the top couple of selections. But I do think that he's got a main foe in the 5 Sunny Inspired, who is arguably the class of the race, Stan. He's been facing graded stakes company. He's one of the few in here that have faced stakes company. So I would say that he has a class advantage, Sunny Inspired.
Yeah, he's my best bet of the day. Single on this late pick 5. He's a 2-time stakes winner here at Laurel Park. He likes the winter time, and I think he's getting back in top form right now for trainer Phil Schoenthal. Here's what trainer Phil Schoenthal had to say a couple mornings ago. We're also going to show you something from Mike Trombetta, who has the 6 Struth here in the Not For Love.
Well, he's a Maryland bred, so we want to run in Maryland as often as we can, and so it helps that he likes Laurel Park. He trains here every day. I think that he likes a winter racetrack more than a summer racetrack, so we try to give him a good campaign over the winter and turn him out over the summertime. We turned him out over this past summer. We brought him back, ran a couple subpar races off the shelf we were disappointed in, had a couple minor little muscle issues we were working through, and I think we're past that now. He's doing really good, and I'm really pleased with him.
He's trained good. He's been very good since his last race, and knowing that this race was coming up, I figured I'd give him a little extra time and train to it, and he's done real well. So I think now's as good a time as ever to give him a shot.
Strategy-wise, do you want to go to the lead with him, or just does he not? Is he a horse that has to have the lead, or not?
No, he don't. He's a little hard to ride, and Julian gets along with him probably better than most. But I prefer him if there's a little speed out in front of him, and he doesn't have to do the heavy lifting early. But it'd be Julian's call.
All right, so that was trainer Mike Trombetta, who's been heating up as of late. He has the six Struth here at 8-1. You saw Schoenthal before talking about the 5 Sunny and Spy. Let's start with Schoenthal real quick. I think he's encouraged of how well this horse is doing right now.
And he should be, and I thought that was a great spot to try him at Charlestown last time out to give him a little bit of a confidence booster because he had been defeated, and even against restricted Maryland bred company a couple starts back. So although he has faced graded stakes company and good company at that, he's also been defeated against restricted stakes company. So that's where I thought maybe his vulnerability would be. I went with an up-and-comer, so to speak. And look, this horse could definitely, he doesn't have to win. And that's the 4 Lakai, who we just talked to Damon Deladovica this morning. It means lucky, apparently.
In Hawaii.
Yeah, in Hawaii.
Everybody likes to get lucky when they go to Hawaii.
We like to get lucky when we're at the track as well, don't we? But Lakai here, you know, they started him on the turf, then they brought him to the dirt against Maiden Claiming Company. He blew the field away, and his second start protected him against that starter allowance optional claiming condition. Good race there, and I was very suspect of him last time out, whether or not he could transition to a fast main track. He got a great ride kind of out in the middle of the racetrack, but he still did it with ease. He blew that field away here. We saw Joy Drive come back to win. Nick Rodalic Rocks in there too. So I thought that he was the up-and-comer versus Sunny Inspired, who has that back class. But I'm just trying to get creative here.
The barn, Deladovico, having a good start here to 2017. They're 20% with the winners so far. Caramanos, you know Caramanos going to sneak in there with something on a big day like today. He's not going to get
Always
shut
does.
up. Always does. One of your top 2-3 leading riders here right now for the meet. So I have respect to 4. I have him in there in my top 4. You saw Trombetta talking about Struth. I don't have Struth picked, but this horse kind of found a new dimension in that win late January. It was against open 25,000 claimers, but that was a salty group. And now Struth used to have a lot of early speed. A new tactic now coming from off the pace.
And I think Stolen Love, you know, it's really dependent on what he does and Lakai. Struth, obviously, Mike Trombetta said that he would prefer to take this horse off of the pace and maybe get a target to run into. So that's probably the best option for him. And you're right. I know they were really high on this horse early in his career. I think he had a little bit of an injury and we hadn't seen him for quite some time, but he came back and beat Allowance Company at Pimlico. There's kind of been some in and outs in terms of his form recently. I respect the connection as I respect him, but I did think that this came up to be a little bit of a salty race.
Yeah, it's a top group there of Maryland-bred sprinters in the Not for Love to kick off that late pick 4 with that 10% bonus. Let's turn the page. Still 3 more stakes to tell you about. Race 9, wide open 3-year-olds. The private terms here going a mile and a 16th, and a bunch of nice 3-year-olds in here. I hit the all button. I think all 7 have a shot. Let's show you a couple here. The 2 High Roller, Trevor McCarthy is going to be aboard. McCarthy was aboard for the win, and the Frank Whiteley, he took all the pressure for the entire race. He was down there on the inside of the track. O'Dionice got in a bunch of trouble this day, but High Roller hung in there for a game win in the Frank Whiteley.
This was a huge performance, and that's why I really liked him in the Miracle-Wood last time out. He was he lost the lead, and then he came back, and he just a very, very game performance. However, in the Miracle-Wood, he too was kind of forwardly placed in there. I guess the question is, you know, how far does he really want to go? Today's his first test going 2 turns, as it is for many other contenders in here, but it does look like he was very strong sprinting, so that's where I just kind of took the wait and see approach.
All right, we'll see if High Roller can get back in good form. We know the 6, your favorite, O'Dionice, in good form. Here's his very impressive win in the Miracle-Wood. He came from off the pace, wide rally with Toledo aboard, and just one going away. It looked like he had plenty left in the tank. He's by Bodemeister out of a flatter mare. Some nice breeding top and bottom. Looks like this horse can run all day for trainer Gary Capuano.
Exactly, and for me, I don't think distance is any bit of a concern for him. He is by Bodemeister. He looks like he could run all day, and look at the energy that he has coming down the stretch. I thought this was a perfect ride by Jevion Toledo, because since the blinkers have been put on him, Stan, he's actually been kind of rank on the backstretch. He breaks a little bit slowly, then rushes up to meet the rest of the field, and unfortunately 2 starts back in the Frank Whiteley, that's what happened, but he was blocked by a lot of horses, so checking rank on the backstretch with those blinkers. Last time out, though, Jevion kept him in the clear. He did the same thing, but he rode a very, very smart race in that. So playing devil's advocate, that could probably be his Achilles heel, is that how he's been running with the addition of blinkers and the fact that he has more distance, which always makes horses get in the bridle a little bit more. I wouldn't be surprised if he's even on the lead today, which is crazy to say.
He's got to keep getting better because
Yeah.
there's other horses in here that very well could be getting better. And I like the 10-1 price you have on top. Buy Not for Love, the 3 No More Talk, decent third in the Miracle Wood, and maybe we're going to see an even better No More Talk that he's going 2 turns.
And exactly, that's why I like him. He's bred for this. He's Buy Not for Love. He's out of Parlay, a very nice brood mare who actually makes him a half to a horse named International Star, who was on the Derby Trail. He won the Remsen, the Louisiana Derby too. So distance is probably going to benefit No More Talk, and he doesn't really have that potent kick. I'm hoping that he could sit a little bit closer to the pace now, getting 2 turns, but I think he's gradually starting to improve. He will have to drastically improve, though, in order to beat O Dionysus. So maybe he'll just catch O Dionysus a little bit off guard.
All right, it's a nice group of 3-year-olds in the private terms there in race 9 to kick off the final late pick 3 of the day. Still 2 more stake races to tell you about. Let's turn the page. Race 10 kicks off the late double, the Caesar's Wish for 3-year-old fillies. Going a mile. We've had some scratches in this race. Scratched a 1, 2, 5, 6. Don't forget about the 4, Star Super. It's going to be your second choice, probably behind the heavy favorite, the 8, Genda's Agenda. But Star Super, a proven runner here against Stakes Company here at Laurel Park. Here's this 3-year-old daughter of Super Savers win in the Marshall Stakes back in late January. A very game win. She wins by a neck. Came with a wide rally around the far turn with Trevor McCarthy aboard. McCarthy stays aboard today for his main man, Cal Lynch. This filly's been freshened since this win in the Marshall and has been working well here at Laurel Park.
And I think, when she did stretch out to distance in the grade 1 Frizette, thought she was kind of auspiciously placed in that. But since transitioning to the Cal Lynch barn, they stretched her out to 7 furlongs. She was, unfortunately, she got caught behind Miss Locust Point, who went down to South Florida with a subpar performance. I didn't like how she regressed in numbers last time out. But I do think that those 2 races going 7/8 and 6 furlongs could serve as a good platform for her today.
And she's proven she wins a dogfight here. She gets looked in the eye and keeps on going and wins by a neck. That's what I like about her. I was initially going to pick the 6 Crab Cakes on top here, but Crab Cakes is scratched. I'll use the 4-star Super.
Of course you were, Marilyn Homer.
Of course I was, but I'll use the 4-star Super in my exacta. We're both going with the heavy favorite here from the Larry Jones barn, and Larry Jones, he knows how to do this. He's had several champion fillies, and we'll see about these buyers coming up from the fairgrounds. Some strong 82, 85 buyers in those 2 wins down there, but she's never faced any adversity. It was a 4-horse field last out against Allowance Company. We'll see how she does against Stakes Company today.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Stan, but it's a small field here as well. She's got 3 other foes. She's already tried 2 turns before. That's a feather in the cap. You look at Forever Liesel. She hasn't yet stretched out to 2 turns. Star Super hasn't, and neither has Tickled Pink. So she's got all of that playing to her advantage. And last time out, she was never whipped. She was handled very confidently by Gabe Saez coming down the stretch. So she clearly looks like she's got a tremendous amount of talent on the bottom side. Just Genda. Larry Jones also, I believe, trained that filly, or that mare, excuse me. She was a multiple graded stakes winner. She was an 8-time winner going long on the dirt. So there's a lot. Obviously, he owns, trains, and bred this filly. So she looks like a really legitimate contender. I think this is the main test, perhaps, for Larry Jones to see what they can do with her next.
And Larry's been on this stage before. How many champion fillies has he had from his barn? So he knows how to handle them. We both have the heavy favorite on top there, Genda's Agenda there in the Caesar's Wish. One more stake to tell you about, the Harrison E. Johnson. Nice field of upper potential handicap horses. This is your older going long division, my favorite kind of division. 3 and up here for the Harrison E. Johnson, going a mile and an 1/8, scratch to 1, Grasshopper. That's the only scratch the 8 I came to the party to. Still a nice 7-horse field here. Let's show you a couple video spotlights here. The 4, Bodie Zotfa, will be far back early on. He only runs half the race. He takes the first half of the race off, and then when
you
everybody
guys
else
go work out in front of
right.
me, and then I'm just going to blow by you effortlessly.
And then he has enough talent to win the race and only running a half mile coming from way out of it. Here he is coming very wide in the John B. Campbell. He beats Paige McKinney in this race.
Now you have have to admit, though, Stan, it did set up for him. There was a blanket of horses in front of him, all trying to find position. And we saw Paige McKenney, who unfortunately was kind of closer to the rail that day, too. And that's not where you wanted to be on that particular day. So Bodhisattva with Carlos Quinones had a beautiful trip, beautiful setup here, closing on the outside of the track. But that's how this track plays, and who's to say it's not going to happen again? He's a 3-time winner here at Laurel, and on his best day, when everything kind of goes as planned, he does deliver. So, and he delivered at a big price last time.
And he ran in the Preakness a couple years ago against American Pharoah. He's 5 now, going strong. Bodhisattva, you could see this horse later this spring in that Grade 1 Pimlico Special at Pimlico, of course, on Black Eyed Susan Day. Another horse you might see in the Grade 1 Pimlico Special, the 9, Matt King Cole, a strong 97 buyer, wire to wire against upper level allowance runners on February 18th. This was his first start as a 4-year-old. This horse was on the Derby Trail last year for Linda Rice. Came back running like a good thing here in his 4-year-old debut.
And coming out of the gate, he broke in. He was leaning on the number 2 a little bit. He was warm that day. It was kind of unseasonably warm for that day, too. So maybe that was the reason. I didn't like him going into the race, and he completely proved me wrong. I think he can use that race to build upon today. It looked like he needed it. And he's also a horse, last time out, he was the lone speed in there. Is he going to find other speed in here? I will say, though, between everything that he's tried, turf, dirt, long, short, off track, fast track, this is definitely his best distance and surface.
And he's going to find some other early speed with your top pick here, the 7 of Fleet Willie. Victor Carrasco aboard for Gonzalez. This horse figures to be close to the pace early on, if not in front.
Well, I like how you said the Grade 1 Pimlico Special, and it should be. Noble Bird won it, and he was in the Pegasus World Cup,
Yep.
so that goes to
Seabiscuit
show
won
you.
it too.
Exactly. You get to the 7 of Fleet Willie here, though. I thought he was really up against it last time out. And the big question mark is distance for this horse. Is he capable of stretching out from 7 furlongs in the General George to 9 furlongs on the main track? I will tell you, he's going to be on the lead. He's been working very, very well. He has been working. And the thing in the General George, he was up against it because he was down, stuck on the inside rail from that 2-post position with speed last time out, and he never got a comfortable position, and he was on the worst part of the track the entirety of the race. So I'm hoping that they just go and let the track kind of guide him throughout going 9 furlongs. So I really, really do like him. Prior to the General George, he was in fantastic form, so I thought he had excuses last time out.
And they loved this horse in the General George at 10-1. They absolutely loved him. You're right, he didn't have the best trip. He came back with a bullet work last Saturday, going 5 furlongs here at Laurel Park. The Claudio Gonzalez, he's the leading trainer for reasons so far this meet. He's doing a nice job. So I respect the 7. I'll use him in my top 4. Nice addition of the Harrison E. Johnson. It was a fast early pace. I love Bodhisattva coming from off it again.
And we could see it. I don't think we really figured that the pace scenario was going to work out the way that it did last time out for Bodhisattva, but it surely did in the Campbell, so we could see it again. And once he gets into form, he kind of stays in form for several races, so that's definitely something to take note of. I used him 4th, but this is pretty wide open, and I think it depends on how the pace scenario shakes out.
All right, we've covered all 5 stakes. We're out of time here. We'll be back this afternoon. Acacia Courtney, she'll be joining us as well. It's an all-stakes late pick 5 starting in race 7. Dave Rodman, he's coming up next with all of today's scratches and changes. Good luck.